What's up, fantasy sports fans? Philly D here. No Limit Fantasy. Week 7 action. How's everybody doing? Sign up. Use my link. No Limit Fantasy Sports. Get 10 free NLC coins. Get 25% deposit bonus. Get a chance to play with quarterback Joe Theismann, people. Playing on this site each and every week. All the proceeds he wins going to charity. Gotta love it. What do we got this week up on the slate? Pittsburgh came out of the depths to beat Kansas City. What a crazy week we had. I mean, Adrian Peterson goes to Arizona and busts off for 132 with 2 TDs. Love it. Le'Veon Bell destroyed the Chiefs single-handedly. Alright, well, there was an offensive line and a little Antonio Brown help. But do not call him. Don't think for 1 second Le'Veon Bell doesn't have it, alright? This week's action, week 7, what do we got going on? Looking at the top players of the week, I'm going right to QB with the plays of the week. Hope everybody's ready. I noticed that the entries were a little low this week. I think everybody's been waiting for the Philly D video. Quarterback, Tom Brady, playing Atlanta. Atlanta playing like dog turds lately. I mean, really? You're going to lose to Miami? I don't even know what to say about that. New England should just roll over Atlanta. Gotta love Tom Brady. Next, we got Drew Brees. The Saints put up 52 points. Brees only had 10. Michael Thomas only had 2. Mark Ingram was the story there. That was fantastic. I had him last week. Playing against Green Bay. Gotta love the matchup. Gotta love Drew Brees. Gotta love Mark. Just gotta love the Saints against Green Bay. Without Aaron Rodgers, sitting ducks. I mean, I like the Packers, but they're not looking too good right now without Aaron Rodgers, I'll tell you that. Matt Ryan playing against New England. Another great matchup. The New England defense not playing super. Matt Ryan not playing super either. I mean, he just dumped to the Dolphins. I don't trust him one bit. But then again, you remember I made some calls last week about the Giants over Denver? That was fantastic. I told you that was a trap game. The two defenses here seem just like open for business. Atlanta and New England. Watch, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I personally do not trust Matt Ryan, but who does? Maybe he does blow up for 40 points, you know? Maybe he's like, hey, Julio, let's do this. Dak Prescott coming in against San Francisco. Alarm is signing off on major fantasy points. I mean, Dak Prescott, look at the price, $7,300. Gotta love it. Probably going to be highly owned. Probably owned by myself as well. San Francisco's been, the 7-Eleven for fantasy points against all positions. Always open for business. Next we got Cam playing against Chicago. Chicago's been playing pretty decent ball. Cam's up and down, but I mean, they're 4-2. I expect Carolina to win this game, but I think everybody expects a certain team to win, and we've been wrong more often than not this year. It's been a great season. Who's the best team in the NFL? Nobody even knows. Is it New England? Is it Kansas City? Like New England. Oh, well, Kansas City beat New England. Oh, so the best team's Kansas City. Well, Pittsburgh beat Kansas City. Oh, so Pittsburgh's the best team. Well, Jacksonville destroyed Pittsburgh. Okay, Jacksonville's the best team. Jacksonville dumped to Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee's the best. It just goes on and on and on. We don't know who the best team is. That's what it is. It's a great season when stuff like this happens. Next, we got Mariota playing Cleveland. Mariota played Indianapolis. Was standing on one leg basically. Couldn't run the ball, but we really got to see his arm talent, and man, that kid can throw. Against Cleveland, I mean, theoretically, you'd expect DeMarco Murray to bust off for another big week, but I think Mariota's a very safe play as well. And again, we'll get to the running backs. DeMarco Murray had a fantastic game. They just kept pounding the rock, and he got that touchdown, got you about 20 fantasy points. Next quarterback on the list, Carson Wentz, playing great ball, put up points against Carolina. Playing Washington. Washington kind of slipped last week. It looks like Norman's out of the game. So, Philadelphia, Washington, always a great rivalry, always a great game. Carson Wentz, price is low on him this week. I don't know why. The man is just playing great ball. I love him this week. Deshaun Watson on the bye. That's just unfortunate because he's playing great ball, getting us all a lot of points. Carson Palmer, having a pretty decent year, fantasy point-wise, getting a juicy matchup against the Chargers. I like Adrian Peterson a lot more than I like Carson Palmer. The Chargers D, better on the pass than the run. Joey Bosa, sacking everything. We'll be staying away from that one. I've been staying away from Palmer all year. I mean, he had a great game last week, and I respect that. But I'm not so sure about the Chargers. But then again, I've been wrong once or twice before. We got Kirk Cousins against Philly. Gonna be a great game. The Philly defense showed up last week. If you watched them against Carolina, I do not like Kirk Cousins this week against Philadelphia. I think the defense is a little bit better than we gave him credit for. Next up, Matthew Stafford on bye. Sorry about that. Alex Smith against Oakland should be a great matchup. I think Oakland might be able to take this game. They might be able to smell blood on Kansas City. So who knows? It's going to be a great matchup. Alex Smith came out like a bat. Let's see what he can do this week against Oakland. It's a juicy matchup, but who knows? Russell Wilson playing the Giants. The Giants shut Denver down like your high school, like your high school prom date. Look for Russell Wilson to lay a big old goose egg. He's just not the first half quarterback you're used to. The price is low on him. I don't trust him for a second, especially against the Giants D, who came to play. Big Ben going to Cincinnati. Gonna be a great game. I like the matchup for Ben and Andy Dalton. Points, I mean, the price is pretty low on him. He did not have a fantastic fantasy game last week. Got that last minute touchdown to really boost his stats, and I mean, it bounced off another player into Antonio Brown's hands. That's 100% luck. I do not trust Ben Roethlisberger. Cincinnati, great defense. We'll see how it is. Derek Carr against Kansas City. I like the play. Derek Carr played a little bit better. I mean, he's still visibly hurt still, but we'll see how it goes. Jameis Winston, I'm not sure if he's suiting up. It doesn't matter. Winston or Fitzpatrick against Buffalo. Don't like it. Minus, if Fitzpatrick is starting, I like the Buffalo defense. Fitzpatrick used to play for Buffalo. They know him they just know how he plays. And when that happens, think of Tampa Bay in week 2 playing against Mike Glennon, their former quarterback. I think they got you 28 fantasy points. So I like that for sure. So I'll be seeing who the starting quarterback is there. Either way, I think I like the Buffalo D. Coming off the bye, too. That's fantastic. Minnesota, Sam Bradford. I don't expect him to play. Will we see a Teddy Bridgewater sighting? Who knows? Playing against Baltimore, though, that's going to be a good game. Not like the Baltimore D. Jared Goff Playing Arizona. Arizona, they're here, they're there. We'll see. I mean, now they got Adrian Peterson. Their defense should be able to stop something if they can control that clock. Jared Goff becoming human the last week. We'll see how that goes. Not one of my personal favorite plays. Here we got Andy Dalton. Getting into the cheaper quarterbacks. Look at Denver against the Chargers. Maybe Trevor Siemian is a decent play. Hold on here. I think I called somebody playing against the Chargers who is not. Oh, that was the Rams. Okay, who we talk? Carson Palmer against the Rams. Okay. It's going to be all systems go for everybody on that Arizona team. All right, I thought it was the Chargers. It's the Rams. My mistake, people. Carson Palmer having a great year. I do not trust him, but I do not trust that Rams defense either. Carson Palmer should have a good game. Adrian Peterson might have 200 yards. So you'll be seeing him on my team. If not Ellington. If not both. What do we got? What do we got? We got the Jets in Miami. I mean, do you want to start Jay Cutler again for another round of that? The Jets shut him down once. Jay Cutler beat Atlanta. Or the team beat Atlanta. It wasn't just Jay Cutler. Phillip Rivers playing Denver. Could be a good game for Phillip. We just saw the Giants walk all over Denver. Why can't Phillip Rivers do it? He's got to show up a few games, all right? And this could be one of them. Josh McCown against Miami should be a good game, but I think I like Jay Cutler against the Jets more. Personally, you won't be catching him on any of my lineups, but that's just me. Tyrod Taylor against Tampa Bay. This might be one of those games you can start him. He's not having a great fantasy year. And then Charles Clay out, but Tampa Bay not very good on the defensive end of things either. Alrighty, Cleveland quarterback. If Hogan's in, we'll see what it is. Same thing with Chicago. I mean, we got some sleepers in here. You go down the list. We'll see how things turn out this week for the quarterback position. I know last week I had Drew Brees. I got stuck with Drew Brees. One thing I do want to mention, the great people at No Limit Fantasy Sports. I was unable to make a roster change, and I emailed the No Limit support staff, No Limit Fantasy support staff, and asked for a refund, and I believe my refund is coming. So that's fantastic, and just wanted to thank those fine people. They care about their players. That's why I like this site. Running back, Le'Veon Bell had a great week last week. Cincinnati, an opponent. They got Geno Atkins, but that's one player versus Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell seems to be 2 or 3 players. We got Ezekiel Elliott out. Actually, marked as questionable. The suspension probably won't take, so if that's the case, all systems go for Zeke. We'll see how it is. Maybe they want to work in some of these other running backs in case that suspension does stand. Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden. We'll see which one it is. They'll probably split carries. I like Morris's more. I mean, they're both great. Usually they start McFadden, though, so I think that's where it is. But don't count out Morris. McFadden, been bit with the injury bug more times than Keenan Allen. Alrighty. Dirty joke, I know. I'm sorry. Low blow, Chargers fans. Low blow! Keenan Allen having a great year, by the way. Kareem Hunt playing Oakland. Had a disappointing week last week. The week before wasn't great either. Coming back to earth. 8,600. Price is high. Leonard Fournette, questionable. Played last week, questionable. Played the week before, questionable. Been destroying the league. Look at the opponent, Indianapolis. I love Fournette. The price has gone from 5,000 on week 1 all the way to 8,600. The guy's no joke. He's getting a touchdown every week. You gotta love him. Todd Gurley had an off week. Playing Arizona. Pretty good run defense there. We'll see how that turns out. I do like Gurley. I love all these top guys. And then LaShawn McCoy. Love this play. Playing against Tampa Bay. Run defense not so hot. LaShawn McCoy, guys. Not having a great season. But here's a stat nugget that might interest you. It interests me. LaShawn McCoy has 0 touchdowns this year. So I believe he's due. He will be on my fantasy team at 7,400. I trust Shady. Expect him to get at least 20 touches. He's had a week's rest, so you know he's nice and healthy. Gotta love him. Devontae Freeman playing against New England. New England's run defense, we know what it is. Atlanta coming off a horrible loss to Miami. If they want to win, they better get their ish together. Alright? You lose to Miami, you better change the ball game. Now we're going into New England. Alright? If you want to beat Tom Brady, you better hold that ball as long as humanly possible. HODL. Alright? And Devontae Freeman's the key to that victory if they want a chance at the champs. Super Bowl rematch. Are we going to go up 28 points and blow the damn lead again? I hope not. CJ Anderson coming off one of the most disappointing weeks, and that will happen with CJ Anderson. He's good for 20 points each and every week, but he's also good for 2 points from time to time. Playing the Chargers, a very juicy matchup. I'm not afraid to roll with them again. Melvin Gordon, questionable. Playing in Denver. You can't like the matchup, but again, it could be a trap game. Denver got ran all kinds of yards by who? Exactly, the Giants. I don't think the Giants have had a 100-yard rusher in like 14 centuries. We got Mark Ingram playing against the Pack. What the heck is he doing all the way down here at 6,700? That don't make no sense, alright? The man chasing fantasy points is one thing, but playing against Green Bay with no Aaron Rodgers is another thing. Love Mark Ingram. He'll be in my lineup. That you can count on that. Jordan Howard, not having the greatest year, playing Carolina. McKinnon, questionable. Keep an eye on that situation. He doesn't suit up against Baltimore. I mean, you just have to play Latavius Murray, like all they have left. DeMarco Murray, questionable. Looked a little gimpy in the last game. Playing against Cleveland, though, like, oh my gosh, you want to start him. If he doesn't go, put Derrick Henry in your lineup for sure. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, he's getting I don't think he has 100 rushing yards. He's not getting many yards per carry, but he's catching that ball. He's getting those touches. PPR monster. 6,100. They just won't lower the price on him like we want them to. Carlos Hyde. Playing Dallas. I mean, he is the offense. You can count on him for 20 touches. Volume alone, you just gotta love it. Cowboys D. Yeah. They had a bye. They're getting healthy. I get that, but you gotta love Carlos Hyde in this game. You gotta love him in pretty much every game, is what it is. Doug Martin playing Buffalo. Love the Buffalo D. Love Doug Martin. Gonna be a great battle there. Adrian Peterson, 5,800, back from the dead, playing the Rams, who are giving up about a century to everybody. Gotta love Adrian Peterson. Another cheap play. I mean, I want 7 running backs on my team this week. I'm not even kidding. We got Chris Thompson playing Philly. Gonna be a good matchup there. Here's Kamara and Derrick Henry. Keep an eye on this situation. Like I said, Tennessee against Cleveland. We'll see how that goes. There's Lamar Miller, had a decent game last week. He's on bye, alright, and he won't be having a decent game this week. Ty Montgomery, I mean, they're going to have to run the ball against New Orleans. They want a chance. Super cheap. Look at that price drop. They'll probably be stacking that run. Bilal Powell being dropped all over the place. Not expected to play. Duke Johnson playing Tennessee might be a great play. Indianapolis, I mean, they moved the ball a little bit on him. They just fell apart in the second half. Let's put it that way. Kevin Coleman against New England. He's cheap. He's always good for 10 points in PPR formats. With Smallwood's questionable. Blunt is all systems blunt. Hit that blunt if Smallwood is not playing. Alright, let's move on to wide receivers. We got Antonio against Cincinnati. He'll be matched up against Pac-Man, Kirkpatrick. Doesn't really matter. Put him against Superman. Antonio's still going to get you 5 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. It is what it is. Julio Jones coming off a horrible week. New England, they'll probably double team him. It's not going to be enough. It's Julio Jones, baby. Been quiet this year, just waiting for that weekend. I think it could be New England. I think Atlanta might just be able to pull this game out. I mean, they lose to Miami. Heck, why not beat New England? You know? AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins. You guys know the top 4 and what it can do. Now, I'm looking at matchup-wise, and let's look. Oh, sorry, DeAndre Hopkins on bye, so it's a top 3. We got Antonio, we got Julio, and we got AJ. Personally, I love them all. I'm looking at the prices. AJ Green against Pittsburgh, sketchy. Pittsburgh's pass defense pretty good. Julio Jones, the matchup against New England. I mean, come on, Julio. It's time for that game. All right. Right underneath, we got Dallas. We got Dez Bryant against San Francisco. Great matchup. Mike Evans playing Buffalo. Great defense. They've been shutting down number 1 receivers. Mike Evans been getting his points no matter who he plays. I think last week he got shut down a little bit though. Michael Thomas was a disappointment last week. Look for him to bounce back against the Pack. Brandon Cooks playing in Atlanta. Great matchup. Fitzgerald playing against the Rams. Great matchup. Just a bunch of great matchups. Hogan let me down last week. Let us all down last week. Against Atlanta. Hopefully we get a bounce back there. Look for Amendola also to get some points in that game. Calvin Benjamin, questionable. Stephon Diggs, questionable. Golden Tate on bye. You got Jarvis Landry, you got a touchdown last game, got you 20 points. Playing New Orleans. If Devontae Parker's out, absolutely start Jarvis Landry. Nothing but confidence. The man is getting targets. He's just not getting the yards that we'd like him to get. We'll look for that to change against New Orleans, who has had a good defense lately, but in late they are giving up garbage time points, and Miami is picking up those garbage points like crazy. Tyreek Hill probable. Hopefully have a bounce back game against Oakland. Doug Baldwin playing the Giants. I don't necessarily like it. Here's Parker. Like I said, questionable. Keep an eye on that status. If he doesn't practice, Friday, all systems go for Landry. OBJ obviously out for the season. Edelman out for the season. So many great receivers out for the season. It's a darn shame this year. Running backs too. 2017 filled with injuries. But look who's still active. Keenan Allen played against Denver. The man, if he plays one good game, not one good game. Keenan Allen, usually matchup proof. And like I said, Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, they usually come to play against Denver. It's a little risky, but the reward on this one is huge. Keenan Allen, 2 touchdowns. Watch Phillip throw for 4. It's just one of those games that they seem to know how to beat Denver. Crabtree against KC. You gotta love it. KC giving up points left, right, and center. T.Y. Hilton having a great year, but playing Jacksonville. Do not love that matchup. Bunctious is playing well, especially if Benjamin is out. Sanders getting tons of targets. They're on bye. Devontae Adams. I mean, what can you do with the Green Bay Packers guys? The players, the wide receivers, and without Aaron Rodgers, it's just tough. Garrett Garcon getting to play the Cowboys. That could be a great matchup. Low priced. Amendola, here's another low price. Seems to be Drew Brees, Tom Brady's favorite target. You gotta love that one. Get a favorite target in the offense, so gotta love that play. And he returns kicks. Cooper, look how cheap Cooper's getting. He's always good for 2 or 3 games for 30 fantasy points. So which one's it gonna be? Is it gonna be this week? Who knows? Randall Cobb, I just don't like the Packers. Sterling Shepard, look out for him. Playing Seattle. I mean, they got to throw the ball to somebody. When he comes back, he's like the only legitimate NFL receiver they have. Seattle, tough matchup. He's banged up, don't know. Cole Beasley, I like him. Against San Francisco at $5,000. I mean, he seems to be getting those targets from Dak Prescott again. He had a fantastic first half of the year last year. Been coming on for a couple touchdowns this year. Price is nice and cheap. John Brown. I mean, who's one of these Cardinals, right? Larry Fitzgerald, John Brown. You never know who it's going to be. Playing the Rams. Gotta love it. Pick one more here. Eric Decker had a nice game. Playing against Cleveland. Yeah, there you go. Eric Decker, Rashard Matthews, other guy on Tennessee. Look out for one of those guys to have a big game against Cleveland. Righty, that will do it for wide receivers, I believe. Chad Ginn had a nice week last week, playing against the Packers. Gotta love that. Moving on to tight ends, guys. Moving on to tight ends. We got things to do, lineups to make. We got the Gronk playing against Atlanta. I mean, it is what it is. Zach Ertz finally didn't have a ton of targets against Carolina last week. Look for him to have some targets this week again, playing against Washington. They're going to need him. Travis Kelce against Oakland. Look for him to get more involved in the offense. Oakland's not very good against the tight end. Austin Sperry-Jenkins. Told you to get 1 million targets last week. Sure did. Look for another 1 million this week against Miami. Jimmy Graham. I just don't trust him. Jordan Reed finally back. Getting with it. Not a fan against Philadelphia, though. Cameron Brate is back, is kicking butt, taking names. Had a touchdown the last 2 weeks. Playing Buffalo. Buffalo has a great back end. Love Cameron Brate. Matchup proof for me. Problem is, who's the quarterback? How are they feeling? Witten, he's been doing great playing San Francisco. Gotta love him. Evan Ingram bounced back last week after getting me a big fat 0 2 weeks ago. Playing Seattle. Struggled against the tight end. They've been awesome against the tight end. You just don't know what you're going to get. Hunter Henry, same story. You just never know what you're going to get. They're good, they're bad. Denver beatable in the tight end position, though. I like Hunter Henry. And then again, I don't like Hunter Henry. Charles Clay, unfortunately, out. Look for Buffalo's replacement tight end to get you some points. Tyler Eifert, out. Still. Kyle Rudolph, I like him against Baltimore. Ned Dixon, active. Didn't have the game he did 2 weeks ago, but still playing well. Jared Cook getting involved in that Oakland offense. Jack Doyle is now my 99th ranked tight end. Absolute garbage play from this guy this season. You are not, I haven't picked you, thank God, because you would not only be in my doghouse, you would be outside the doghouse. There would be a board in front of that door to the doghouse, because that's where you belong. Like, the ball is hitting his hands, and he just doesn't want it. Unbelievable. Never seen such poor play in my life, especially from a tight end. Tight ends are usually the most sure-handed guys there are, and this dude is just proving me wrong. Kickers, Vinatieri, suck up. It doesn't matter. You guys know who. There's good kickers, there's bad kickers. Alright? So stick with the good ones. Vinatieri's a great kicker. Blair Walsh is horrible. McManus is horrible. Who else we got? Santos is injured. Sturgis doesn't play for that team anymore. Capanzaro, he's horrible. Boswell's great kicker. Dan Bailey, great kicker. Hopkins, great kicker. Vecchio, great kicker. Gano, great kicker. Zerline, great kicker. You see what I'm getting at, guys? Jake Elliott, great kicker. There's 5 or 6. Tucker, great kicker. You know what I mean? Mason Crosby, great kicker. That's what it is, guys. Prater, I saw him down there too. Great kicker. Alright, let's check out defense. Let's wrap this up. Let's get to the games tonight. Alright, guys. Seattle playing. Get over here. Let's see who our opponents. The Giants. Trap game, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Seattle should be good for this game, but I mean, like I said, New Orleans, they just took it to Denver. Why can't they take it to Seattle? I don't like it. Houston and Cleveland, that game is not happening. It's a bye. Awesome. The Jags. Jags seem to be matchup proof this week. Mine's against Tennessee. They're playing Indianapolis. Love this play. It's probably my top defense of the week. The Panthers having a great year against Chicago, even better. The Cowboys playing San Fran should be good to go. A little too high price for me. Denver playing the Chargers could be good, could be not good. I mean, they dumped the Giants, so maybe they come back, maybe they don't. Who knows? Buffalo against Tampa Bay. I love this play. This is my favorite play of the week. Then we got Tennessee against Cleveland. That's my second favorite play. Anybody against Cleveland's up there. Minnesota against Baltimore. I actually like Baltimore against Minnesota more for that defense. Baltimore's offense is not very good, but Minnesota's offense is not going to stack up well. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, either way, you know. I like Pittsburgh's D, I guess. Cincinnati not very good. If Andy Dalton's not active, especially, like for Pittsburgh to shut them down. Yeah, New Orleans against Green Bay, even a great play. So yeah, that'll do it for this week, guys. I mean, picks galore. Philly D style. Giving you guys the goods, giving you guys the lineups, giving you guys the wins. Sign up. Like I said, No Limit Fantasy Sports, guys. Get the 25% deposit bonus. It's fantastic deposit bonus. The people at No Limit Fantasy Sports treating you fair. They understand fantasy. They understand fairness, equality, great play. Joe Theismann playing on No Limit Fantasy Sports. You can play him in the Joe Theismann contest, where all the proceeds go to charity. And Joe Theismann, guys, I played him head to head. I believe I won the first match and he won the second. He smoked me that second week by 150. I don't know. He smoked me by like 30 points, anyways. But just to get to play against a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he's playing every week, guys. is just fantastic. That's going to do it for me. Check me out on Facebook. If you want some private consultation, let me know. You inbox me. You can play against me on No Limit Fantasy Sports, my favorite website. Look for a new user interface to come out, which is going to absolutely blow the competition away. We're going to have top players at each position. We're going to have the top fantasy managers, bragging rights. Look for my channel to expand. I'm going to be coming with more picks, more lineups. We're going to do interviews with top fantasy players in the works for Joe Theismann live Q&A. It's just getting bananas. The site is growing. Don't miss out on this wonderful opportunity. And the original and best part about No Limit Fantasy Sports, guys, is reduced fees. DraftKings and FanDuel, or let me scratch that out. The other sites charging rates of 10% and more. No Limit Fantasy Sports, the absolute most rate or fees there are, 5%. No Limit Fantasy Sports offering contests with 1% fees, 2% fees, 3% fees. On incredible prices, you cannot beat it. So join us at No Limit Fantasy Sports. Use my link, like I said. And let's enjoy some Week 7 action. Take it easy.